All right, today we're diving deep into one of the most mysterious, complex, and honestly mind-bending spiritual texts ever written, Helena Blavatsky's massive work, The Secret Doctrine. And what is it? Well, it claims to be nothing less than a complete history of the universe and of us. A history drawn from sources supposedly way older than anything we know. Right from the very first page, the book just wraps you in this atmosphere of incredible mystery. Blavatsky isn't just kicking around a new philosophy. Nope. She's claiming to pull back the curtain on wisdom that's been deliberately kept under lock and key for thousands of years. So what we're really doing here is going on an expedition, trying to map out a system of thought that claims to be the hidden root of all religions and all sciences. So, where did she get all this stuff? Well, she says it comes from a text called the Book of Dzyan. And here's the thing. This isn't a book you can just go find on Amazon or in some dusty old library. It's described as this incredibly ancient manuscript, written in a lost sacred language that lays out the entire blueprint of the cosmos in these short, symbolic verses. We're stepping completely off the map of normal history here, folks, and into a whole other universe of ideas. Okay, let's get into the core concepts. We have to start at the beginning, and I mean the very beginning. Not just of our little planet, but of an entire universe. This system thinks on the biggest scale you can possibly imagine. The first big idea you've got to wrap your head around is that universes aren't a one-and-done deal. Not at all. Instead, everything happens in these huge, repeating cycles. Think of it like a great cosmic breath. The universe breathes out, that's a Manvantara, and everything comes into existence. Then it breathes in, that's a pralaya, and everything dissolves back into pure, quiet potential, just waiting for the next breath out.
And the language the book uses to describe this, it's not like a science textbook. It's pure poetry. It says creation isn't some mechanical process. It's an awakening. It all starts in the state of absolute stillness, a dreamless sleep. Then a single vibration starts to pulse, waking up this active energy, a kind of cosmic electricity that starts to trace out the blueprints of reality. And then finally, these ideas are made real by something called the army of the voice.
That cosmic electricity has a name, Fohat. And you got to remember this one, because Fohat is a big deal. You can think of him as the bridge between the idea of a universe and the actual physical universe. He's the energy that takes the silent architectural plan from the cosmic mind and actually builds everything. The stars, the planets, you name it. In a nutshell, Fohat is the builder. Okay, so this is all sounding pretty huge and complex, right? A cosmic breath, a builder named Fohat. How do you even begin to make sense of it all? Well, according to the doctrine, there's a key. A master key that unlocks how the whole system fits together. And that key is the number 7. Yep, 7. But this isn't just about it being a lucky or mystical number. No, it's described as the fundamental pattern of reality, a 7-part structure that repeats itself over and over and over again on every single level of existence, from the biggest cosmic stuff right down to the little details inside of you and me. And I mean, this pattern is everywhere in the system. There are 7 cosmic creative spirits. Our planet is part of a chain of 7 globes. We are made up of 7 principles of consciousness. And the entire history of humanity, you guessed it, it unfolds across 7 great root races. It is, basically, the universal formula for how things are built. This is what gives the whole thing its incredible internal logic. The idea is that nothing is random. The exact same 7-fold blueprint that organizes angels and cosmic beings is the same one that structures planets and humanity and even the different layers of your own soul. You could almost call it a fractal cosmology. The same pattern exists whether you zoom way, way out or zoom way, way in. So, let's bring this down from the clouds. How does this whole cosmic blueprint thing actually apply to us? We're going to zoom right in now and focus on the story of humanity. And trust me, this is where things get really, really wild. The doctrine lays out this absolutely epic, multi-million-year history for us, unfolding across 7 huge chapters called root races. Each one pops up on a different ancient continent, tasked with developing a certain quality. And us, right now, we're supposedly the 5th race. The book calls this the Aryan race, but it's really important to know this has nothing to do with the awful racial ideas of the 20th century. It's an old Sanskrit term used here to mean a stage of evolution focused purely on developing the intellect. But get this, the first humans weren't human as we'd recognize them. They weren't even physical.
The first race was supposedly made of pure light, totally formless. The second race was a bit more defined, but still non-physical. Imagine beings that were basically just ghosts or phantoms, no solid body, no mind, no real consciousness.
The real game changer, the huge turning point, comes with the third race. These are the famous Lemurians, living on the lost continent of Lemuria. This is it. This is the moment humanity finally gets physical bodies. We're talking bones, muscles, the whole shebang. They separate from being androgynous into male and female. And, most importantly, they're given the spark of mind by a group of higher spiritual beings. This is the birth of us, thinking, self-aware human beings.
So now we've got physical bodies and physical senses. But did these early humans see the world the same way we do? According to the doctrine, not even close. They had an extra sense, a spiritual sense that we've lost, and it's centered around one of the most famous concepts in the whole book.
So think of it like this. The Lemurian race was primarily spiritual and intuitive. Our race, on the other hand, is primarily material and intellectual. The doctrine claims the main reason for this difference is that they had a fully functional third eye, and it wasn't a metaphor. It was a physical organ of spiritual perception. The book suggests that as we became more and more focused on the physical world and our intellects, that organ literally atrophied, shrinking down into what we now know as the pineal gland.
And here's where the book takes Darwin's theory of evolution and just flips it completely on its head. It claims that some of the still mindless humans back in the third race committed a kind of sin. Without the spark of intellect to guide them, they interbred with ancient animal species. The result of this union, according to the text, was not modern man, but the ancestors of modern apes. So in this view, man doesn't come from the ape comes from man. It's a total reversal.
Okay, wow. So we've gone from the birth of a universe through these vast cosmic cycles, all the way down to this incredibly strange and epic story of our own origins. So what's the point of all this? Let's zoom back out and look at the big picture.
When you boil it all down, the Secret Doctrine is just this monumental attempt to explain everything. It's a cosmology of endless creation, an anthropology that starts before we even had bodies, and a secret history of lost worlds. But maybe it's not meant to be read as a literal history book. Maybe it's more like a vast symbolic map for the evolution of consciousness itself. It tries to carve out this third path, an alternative to both purely materialistic science and rigid dogmatic religion.
And in the end, the entire massive work really rests on one profound idea. It suggests that our whole spiritual journey isn't about finding something new, but about reawakening something incredibly ancient that's already deep inside of us. It leaves us with this powerful question: what if the deepest truths about the universe and our place in it aren't things we need to learn for the first time, but are a divine heritage that we've simply forgotten?